All right, y'all. So, Scammer of the Week award goes to this guy, I think. He purchased a Beyblade from me, and I received a message stating that the Beyblade that he purchased was not a Takara Tomy. This is how he said it. Hi, I was by that lot. I was disappointed because this is not Takara Yimi. This is this is Hasbro. He's very upset because the Beyblade that he spent $50 on, $49 on, which is a good price for this actual make and model of Beyblade. I'm pretty sure it just sold for $89. Ouch. Sold quickly, but he got it, and it is a Takara Tomy Beyblade according to the wiki. Now, I am not a Beyblade expert. There's a chance I am wrong, but this is what I went off of. It was released by Takara Tomy as part of the Burst system, blah, 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 blah. So I listed it as a Takara Tomy. Others list it as a Takara Tomy. I sold similar, and here we are. The buyer's very upset because he thinks it's Hasbro. So I responded and I said, Hi, I do see others listed as Takara, but I'm no Beyblade expert. It is tough to narrow down the makes and models, years, but if this was a mistake, I'm happy to accept a return. I offer free 30-day returns for any reason for a full refund, because I do. That's just how it works on eBay. You get benefits doing so. So he responds, I can't do that because it was bought through another company. So I pause and I look into it and I discover that this isn't even my buyer. The buyer is actually somebody who purchased my item and obviously shipped it to this guy. I mean, I don't know that for sure, but at the end of the day, you can't do any transactions outside of eBay. I could never have refunded this guy outside of eBay. I should never have refunded this guy outside of eBay, but it seems like that's what he was going to want me to do. Now, if I was a newbie seller, I may have fallen for this. I may have gotten scared of a negative feedback, and who knows where this would have went. But because this is not my buyer, I just hit the block button immediately and moved on. If the freight forwarding company comes back with a return, then we'll deal with it. But it's almost outside the return window anyway. So we'll see. If I did make a mistake, I would absolutely make it right. But this is a little too sketchy for me. And I looked into the freight forwarding rules as far as eBay goes, and I asked ChatGPT to give me some proof as to what's going on with the eBay money back guarantee, as far as items that are shipped with a freight forwarding company. ChatGPT hit me back and said freight forwarding eBay does not cover items that are shipped to a freight forwarder and then forwarded to another address. But the issue that I see here is that you need the buyer's acknowledgement in an eBay message or the buyer's registered address being in a different country than the shipping address. So if that isn't on file, if the buyer is a savvy scammer and they have the right zip code, as far as, the freight forwarding companies in Florida, their zip codes in Florida, even though they're going to get the item sent to wherever. Uh, it's it's scary. It's scary to think of. But if the item doesn't come back to you, you don't give them the money. Period. As long as you have that policy in place, you're protected. And eBay expects that to happen. eBay expects you to receive an item back, a shipping label is generated, and once the item is in your hands, you confirm that everything's good and you send the refund. If everything is not good, there's an appeal process. And if that appeal gets denied, there's an additional appeal process. And if there's a real scam that happens, you end up reporting it to the police because it's a real crime. And all that does is put a police report on file to make sure that eBay knows you're serious. You're not lying. You went to the police, you filed a report, you went online, you can file an FBI internet crime report. It's a simple form that you fill out and you give them some screenshots of proof. And it also prevents the guys from doing this again. It's well worth it. Hopefully you never have to experience that. But in a scenario where you do, keep that in mind. You can fight for your money. Let me know what you think about what I did, my response, what you would have done. Peace.